According to the Home Office, Muslim prisoners now have a right to demand a halal diet. Why stop there, I say? Surely those in prison for cannibalism might request human flesh, whilst convicted arsonists have a right to their own barbecue facilities. Rose! Any chance of some food, or do I have to write to Oxford?
Yes, okay, I'm doing it.
Well, about time. I was just about to chew my own leg off.
Don't let me stop you.
Well, that's nice. Not too lumpy. You having anything?
No, don't worry. I'll just scrape whatever's left on your plate.
Now, I have several columns for you to type up.
Oh, my fingers are all a-quiver.
There's one on illegal immigrants, one on Osama bin Laden.
He must be shaking in his cave.
And then I was going to get registered at that new health centre.
Oh, joy. Another group of medical professionals for you to antagonize.
I'm not trying to be difficult.
No, it comes quite naturally.
But I refuse to suffer fools, so let us hope this lot are a little bit sensible.
Tuck in my sweet.
Hello, Izzy. How are you?
How's your weekend?
Fine. Say hello to me. Hello.
We were just about to play a game of heads, shoulders, knees and toes. You'd love to join in, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, and eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Heads, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
I know this rather nice Italian that serves the finest ossobuco this side of Milan. No, of course you should see Ed. He's vulnerable, he's alone, he's at a critical stage of his recovery. I'll just have a pork pie on a park bench somewhere. Yes, of course I'm joking. Come in. All right, bye.
Look what I have found on the floor of the staff room.
Well, my initial diagnosis is it's a chocolate biscuit.
Look closer. These are tooth marks.
We're now in the realms of forensic science. I'm not really qualified.
Dr. Carter, these are the tooth marks of a rat.
Are you sure?
Indeed I am. In my time, I have dealt with many kinds of vermin.
More likely, Karen's struggling with one of her latest diets. Tell the cleaners.
If that's what you think is best, Doctor.
Oh, so you've finally condescended to show your face.
I beg your pardon?
This, my dear, is the reception. And it's always nice to be received when one enters. However, you've no doubt been very busy scoffing chocolate biscuits.
I was not eating the biscuit. I was saving it till later.
Well, don't mind me. I'm only a taxpayer.
Are you registered with us?
I am not.
You will need to fill in a form.
It may have escaped your attention, but I am somewhat incapacitated and unable to hold a pen at the moment.
Look, I'll do it.
No, Rose. Let this lady earn the salary we pay her.
What's this about?
You know perfectly well what it's about.
Oh, yeah?
Friday, I tried to be accommodating. I suggest activities for the three of us, but oh no. You don't want to play Happy Families anymore.
I just don't want to move too fast, that's all.
Oh no, we just have to wait for you to click your fingers. So 1 minute, I'm Auntie Zara, and the next minute, I'm just some woman in the background.
Hang on, I thought you didn't want to move too fast either.
I want us to behave like civilised adults. I do not want to be chucked out like the cat at night. If that's the way you want to play it.
Zara.
Bye-bye, Izzy.
Zara.
What is your date of birth?
26th of the 5th, 1944. No 1944, not 1844. I'm not Methuselah.
Fine. I just need to put this into the computer.
Oh, for heaven's sake, my granny can type quicker than you.
I am trying to help you. But if you insist on being rude, I will have to ask you to leave the surgery.
Oh, yes. We couldn't have a health centre cluttered up with sick people.
It is not part of my job description to fill in forms. I am doing you a favor.
Oh, of course, and I should be grateful. Never mind that we pay your wages, and they could be spent on an automated system. I'm sure a robot could give out appointment times with considerable accuracy.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Tembe?
This gentleman seems to think I should be replaced by a robot.
Oh dear. Well, I can assure you that no robot can do the things that Mrs. Tembe is capable of.
That is debatable.
Your face is very familiar.
Well, I've had it a number of years now.
John Doric. I've been reading your column for ages.
A GP who can read English. Well, that's a first.
Didn't know you were a patient here.
I was hoping to register when this lady learns how to type.
I beg your pardon.
Well, once we've got you in the system, we should book you in for a health check. How about this afternoon?
Well, something to do while the fridge is defrosting.
Excellent. It's a privilege to meet you. Some days, your column was the only thing worth reading.
Thank you. That means a great deal.
Oh, here's one. A night security guard in Solihull.
Oh, yeah? So I've got to get to and from Solihull in the middle of the night. Think about it, you may. I haven't got a car.
Okay. Look, there's a jobs fair on at the college at lunchtime. There's bound to be something.
Yeah, there's bound to be, isn't there? Any idea what the job market's like at the moment?
Ryan! I'm really sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen.
I know. I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah, well, it's not working.
Neither am I.
Michael McIntyre.
Any chance of a cuppa?
Mrs. Tembe, there's nothing that perks me up like the taste of your red bush.
It is always a pleasure for someone who is so appreciative.
Oh, you're not still bothered about our journalist patient, are you?
I am surprised that someone as educated, indeed, as erudite as yourself can read a man who is so very rude.
Well, that's the whole point of a good columnist. They get under your skin. They make your blood boil. They bring you out in a rash.
He sounds like some sort of disease.
Well, I mean, sometimes it is. It can be just as devastating. I mean, listen to this. I see our scientists are creating more hot air about climate change. Now they believe in carbon trading, where every time you break wind, you have to plant an acorn. Well, it gets us talking. It's starting an argument.
I see. But I am not an argumentative person.
No.
However, I have looked through his articles in the Leatherbridge Life, and he has written some very rude things about the royal family. I do not believe you should be able to write such things about a small minority group who are unable to defend themselves.
Well, that's an interesting definition of a persecuted minority. But the whole thing, he wants to get us talking. He wants to inflame us. And Mr. Doric is clearly a very brave man to stir up such passion in people.
Brave or stupid?
What do I have to do to get a drink around here? Rose! Ah. There is no problem so great or grave that cannot be diminished by a nice cup of tea.
It's not much good if you're drowning.
That Dr. Carter seems to be a pleasant sort of fellow.
If you say so.
I was going to ask him to support my application for attendance allowance.
Oh?
It's a form of fiscal remuneration for folks with movement difficulties.
You mean it's a benefit?
Yes, it's a benefit.
I thought this country was being brought to its knees by benefit scroungers.
Yes, but I am not a scrounger, am I? I am genuinely ill and could do with a bit of financial support.
Some days you just don't know where your next three-course meal at the Ritz is coming from.
Look, I just thought it might help if we had a bit extra. You could do something with your hair.
Oh, thanks.
Apparently, last week's column on adoption by so-called gay couples has ruffled a few feather boas. Well, I am sorry if the truth hurts. However, I did not invent the biological process whereby a child is born of one man and one woman. To suggest others or to bring in lovers, significant others or bits on the side can only confuse the poor mites. Lord knows this world is confusing enough.
Where are you, you filthy creature?
Who are you talking to?
Sometimes we have problems with drunken students falling asleep behind the desk. Oh. On this occasion, there is no one there.
But if they come back, you'll be ready.
Oh, yes. Perhaps you would like to go through.
Well, your blood pressure's a bit high. I'm going to have to adjust your medication.
Oh, it's all right. I always start the day with a cocktail of pills anyway.
Yes, you seem to be taking a long time to recover from your stroke. I thought you'd be a bit more mobile by now.
Well, I've never been one of the world's great athletes, and I don't expect I'll ever make old bones. I was thinking about applying for attendance allowance, just to help with day-to-day living.
Not really my area of expertise. I think I've got some information somewhere. Of course, if you qualify, it'll certainly help your wife.
No, she's not my wife.
Really?
No, Rose and I aren't a couple. She's my part-time carer.
But you write about her, Rambling Rose, Rose's thorny dilemma.
Yes, we were married and now we're not.
So, you look after this man of your own accord.
Oh, believe it or not, John can be kind and he can be fun. Behind that crusty exterior, well, there's a crusty interior.
I have been reading his column. He really is extremely argumentative.
But that's not him, that's the person he hides behind. The real John is small and scared.
So why did you divorce?
Oh, I don't know. One day a light just seemed to go off inside him. He was there in body, but we split. Then he got ill. And if I look after him, it stops someone else's life being made a misery.
I have a problem with Little John.
Richard Littlejohn.
No. Down there?
Oh, erectile dysfunction.
Yes, that's right. It first started to happen, or not to happen, about 5 years ago. It's part of the reason Rose and I broke up. She thought I'd lost interest. I hadn't. I just couldn't.
Have you discussed it with anyone?
Well, it's not the easiest thing to bring up, so to speak, is it? I mean, I'm of a generation that doesn't talk about that sort of thing. It's hard to shake that off.
Erectile failure is an early indicator of vascular disease.
They connected?
Yeah, you see, the penis is a system of blood vessels, and if that fails, that can indicate a problem elsewhere. Think of it, if you like, as a canary down a mine shaft.
Well, I prefer not to think of it in those terms, feathered or otherwise.
Thanks for coming.
I haven't got long.
Look, I just wanted to say sorry. Okay, if I was a bit abrupt on Friday, I was only thinking about Izzy.
This wasn't just about Izzy. You just used her as an excuse, just like you use everyone.
Whoa, hang on, that's a little strong, isn't it? Look, she's had a lot to deal with, you know? She's lived with me, with Lisa, with me and Lisa. Now she's been uprooted and moved to Nottingham. She only sees me every other weekend. And her mother's up to goodness knows what with some bloke.
Well, her father's up to goodness knows what with Auntie Zara.
Look, I'm not an expert at this, okay? I'm just trying to do what's right for her. Didn't exactly have a great start myself.
Oh, not the whole I never knew my dad thing. I get the point.
Okay.
But this isn't about Izzy, is it? Daniel.
You lied.
What?
You lied about the pudding.
Is Rose around?
She has gone to pick up some dry cleaning.
Oh, of course.
Will you be all right to wait here?
I don't have much choice.
Mrs. Tembe, would you make Mr. Doric a cup of tea?
If you are asking Dr. Carter, I will be happy to oblige.
Look, I was going to make a pudding, all right? And then bizarrely, Mrs. Tembe wanted to show off her technique. So I thought, why do it myself when some other sucker will do it for me? And don't tell me you wouldn't have done exactly the same thing yourself.
You lied.
Briefly, and then I came clean in the end.
Under pressure?
I don't understand why you're getting so heated about this.
I don't know. Doesn't make much sense, does it? Let's just forget it.
I know you're just trying to be a good father. And I know that it's difficult. But I'm just confused about how you see me in all of this. I just need, Izzy and I both need some sort of consistency.
You need consistency.
Yeah, so what's wrong with that?
You're the most inconsistent woman I've ever met.
That is nonsense. I'm extremely decisive.
When it comes to something that you want, perish the thought the rest of us might disagree.
I really don't see an argument here.
If things aren't on your terms, or you can't control the situation, or manipulate it to your advantage.
You are making a spectacle of yourself.
I need something from you. You just won't. Everything has to be on your terms.
Says the man who dismissed me from my own house for the whole weekend.
We're as bad as each other.
I prefer we're as good as each other. Although I have the edge, obviously.
Here is your tea. We do not have any sugar.
That's all right. I'm sweet enough. I do hope my words this morning did not offend you.
It's interesting you say that, because you have produced many words that have offended me.
Oh dear, I see you have something to share with me.
You wrote an article where you claimed the royal family were extremely out of touch.
Not quite correct. And what I don't understand...
Well, I have met Her Majesty the Queen, and she came across as a most intelligent person.
Really? What did you talk about?
Well, I told her I thought she was doing an excellent job, and I hope that she would continue to do so for many years to come.
Okay, well,
You also wrote an article where you claimed homosexual people were generally disgusting.
What I meant was...
In my work with the NHS, I have met many homosexuals. I do not approve of what they do in bed. I try not to think about it. However, many of them are highly intelligent, very charming people. And their houses are so clean, you could eat your dinner off the floor.
Okay, so the laminate floor is spotless. But I don't like the way they're taking over the media. There was a time when it was the love that dare not speak its name. Now it's the love that never shuts up.
But if two people cannot even speak to each other about what really matters, A married couple, for example.
Look, I'm sure this is all very fascinating, but could I possibly use your job?
Mr. Doric,
Hello. Yes.
you've had a little bit of a fall. Now, I need you to follow my finger. Okay, that's good. Now, are you in any pain at all?
I'm in agony.
Right, I'm gonna get a colleague to help me lift you as I have to watch my back.
Dr. Carter, he cannot stay on the floor. What about the rats?
What?
I am so sorry. I did not mean to alarm you. Perhaps there are no rats. We are not sure at this stage.
Rats? No. No. Please. Please say you are joking.
Mr. Doric!
Mr. Doric?
John!
So how was the job fair?
Job fair. Packing fridges in Redditch or picking strawberries in Evesham. Wasting my time.
Surely your Uncle Trevor can help you get something.
Me? I've blown it with him.
But he said that he'd give you a good reference.
Yes, and he did. That's only because my mum had a word.
Hello, love. Oh, hello, right.
What are you doing here?
Oh, don't mind me. I only pay half the mortgage.
Sorry, do you want us to leave?
No, it's all right. It's nice that you can bring her boyfriends over. Well, especially after the last one, the borderline stalker, wasn't he? You're not working today, Ryan?
No, I've lost my job.
No. Why?
Faced
The
into
recession.
Which is it?
bit of both, actually. You know, tough times and all that at the moment.
Oh, well, if I hear of anything, there's always stuff coming up at the university.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Mum.
Well, what have you got to say for yourself?
What do you mean?
Oh, come on. You've clearly been exaggerating the extent of your disability.
But it was the only way I knew to get you back.
I am so sorry for interrupting. I just thought you could all do with a cup of tea.
Thank you, Mrs. Timber.
You are welcome.
For the past 6 months, you've been lying to me, pretending you're ill when there's absolutely nothing wrong with you.
That's not quite true. He has been recovering from a stroke. Yes?
And, of course, he does have another small problem.
Mrs. Tembe?
Go on.
Oh, yes, please, let's hear the expert opinion of the receptionist.
Thank you. A few moments ago, you told me about your relationship and how the passion had ended all so suddenly.
Mrs. Tembe.
And then I spoke to your ex-husband about openness in a marriage, and he became extremely uncomfortable.
This is really...
So, it is clear to me that he has a problem with his manhood.
Oh, for heaven's sake! I am so sorry.
No, Dr. Carter, there is no need to be embarrassed. As you know, this affects many men of a certain age.
I beg your pardon?
Do you know, people used to take rhino horn even though it had no effect whatsoever. Thank heavens for modern medicine, which not only helps with this intimate problem, it will also help with rhino conservation.
Well,
I am so sorry for Mrs. Tembe.
Well, I beg to differ. Sometimes public humiliation is good for us because it makes us humble. That was my problem in the past. I was just too arrogant. That's why I was such a terrible husband. But now I ask you, in all humility, Rose Amy Saunders, will you marry me?
what do you think?
This man has all the charm of a warthog. So what is inside can only be an improvement.
Fine. Well, I suppose that's a yes. But on one condition.
Yes.
You must give up that wretched column.
Oh, gladly. My column isn't what it was, but I would like to write one final piece about our wonderful health service and one of the kindest, most brilliant people working in it.
One does one's best.
Mrs. Tembe, you're a revelation.
Thanks.
Dr. Carter, the human heart holds many mysteries.
Yes, it does. Your behaviour was intrusive, utterly unprofessional, and extremely
Effective.
Imogen! Where'd this come from?
Oh, I bought it at a shop in town.
How much did you pay?
About 20 quid.
The price tag says 200 quid.
Now, that is because I bought it in a designer warehouse and I must have taken the reduced sticker off. I mean, there's loads of stuff. There was even stuff for under a tenner.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you go to a fashion warehouse and not tag me? You know, I like a bargain.
Sorry.
Do you think they got any my size?
Try that one.
Are you mad?
Still going on, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
You know, that doesn't mean anything anymore.
I've tried.
You're not hard enough.
I can't stop.
This is serious.
Shut up.
Well, stop pretending like it's gonna go away, because it isn't. I'm getting sick of this, me. I lost my job because of you. What's going on?
Instant noodles. That's all you eat.
The man's a war hero. We should be taking better care of him.
That's him! Eric, meat tray.
It's all about you, isn't it?
Shove your toasties.
Come on, I want you to meet a friend of mine.
Today's weakest